Mike, you've just published your second European car buyer survey, with the previous survey showing little interest amongst consumers in buying a battery electric vehicle. So what's changed survey on survey, and have the OEMs got adoption estimates wrong?
Hi, Rod. Yes, so there's been a few changes in consumer preferences, with hybrids growing modestly in popularity, but they remain the preferred choice of powertrain, with 45% opting for that technology. Slightly more buyers are opting for BEVs, so battery electric vehicles, 18% versus 16% previously. However, that still doesn't indicate a significant growth for BEVs versus the 16% market share they had last year. Probably the most interesting shift was the most wanted brand, with Tesla losing pole position and is now relegated to fourth place. Audi now takes the top spot there. And there were also a couple of new questions in the survey. Firstly, would you have concerns over buying an imported Chinese branded vehicle? With 74% of respondents saying that they would, which doesn't bode well for China's bid to become a global player. And that's coupled with a high brand loyalty that domestic marques enjoy in Europe. Also, 2/3 of those polled disagree with a 2030 ban in Europe of ICE vehicles, so internal combustion engine vehicles. So this may result in future delays to this policy. For the OEMs, they saw the stratospheric valuation of Tesla since 2020 and believed that by jumping in with both feet on BEVs, they would attract similar high multiples. That hasn't happened. And as our survey highlights, consumers remain concerned over lack of public charging infrastructure, range anxiety, and high prices. And the reality is that first generation BEVs are struggling to attract buyers beyond first adopters and are too expensive.
Great. And is there a case to be made that European OEMs are maybe just going through a box ticking exercise as far as emissions legislation is concerned and trying to avoid fines? And where profitability comes into it, would they be kind of relaxed about an ICE phase out delay?
Well, in Europe, the OEMs are certainly ticking the box, and the issue is double-edged, as the first generation vehicles by legacy automakers are generally loss-making or low margin, so there's little incentive for them to sell volumes above those needed to meet their emission targets and avoid fines. From the consumer point of view, they're certainly not comfortable with the tech at the moment. So yes, for both parties, they're not likely to object to a delay to the phase out of ICE.
And then final thing, just focusing on the Japanese for a second, we do read or we hear that they've been a bit slow to market with a BEV product. Have they been right to focus on hybrids?
Well, certainly Toyota has, and it's been cautious about rolling out BEVs, particularly using the current technology. And they now see only a 30% BEV mix by 2030, which is actually in line with our recent global BEV report, where we predicted a 33% BEV market share globally by the end of the decade, which is well below what many commentators are predicting. Hybrids are certainly the right intermediate solution, with Toyota leading on hybrid electric vehicles technology, or HEV. This is where you don't have to plug in the vehicle. So yeah, Toyota seems to be on the right track there.
Mike, appreciate your insights. Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank
Cheers.
you.